Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Grow Through It podcast. My name is Julia, and today I'm going to be sharing my key takeaways from an event I went to this past weekend. This event was a personal growth and leadership conference that I've attended 4 or 5 times now. Each time I leave feeling so inspired, motivated, and my heart is so full. If you've ever wanted more for your life, more freedom, more fulfillment, stronger relationships, this episode is for you. I'm sharing powerful insights that moved me deeply and reminded me how capable we all are of change. The first thing I wanted to talk about is the community aspect and the people I met and hung out with there. When I was younger, I was around a lot of girls that tore other people down, thought they were better than me, and wanted to see me fail. This wasn't because they were bad people, but they wanted to have the most attention. I always was hesitant when meeting women because of this. However, being at this event and being around like-minded women and men helped me remember that there are really good people out there. These women are all so uplifting and they want to see you succeed and grow. I met some incredible people and I'm excited to spend more time with them. I've said this before, but you are the sum of the people you surround yourself with most. Who are you spending time with? Make it intentional. I want to be around other women like this. Women who inspire me, lift me up, are strong leaders and business owners, who have a vision for a better future. Being around people like that makes you want to be better. It inspires growth and change. So being in a room with hundreds of women like this was such an incredible feeling. It also made me feel seen. There is one activity they always do at this event, and every single time I do it, I cry. This activity is so eye-opening and deep, and I wish everyone could experience it. I think this started at Rachel Hollis's conference, as I've heard her talk about it before. So basically, everyone gets a little card that has different prompts on them. You check off which ones apply to you, then you fold up the paper and pass it to someone else. You keep passing the papers until you've done it like 7 or 8 times. And at that point, you have no idea whose card you have, and the person who has yours doesn't know it's yours. Then they read out each prompt on the paper and you stand up if on the paper you have, which is no longer yours, has it checked off. So some examples of these are: I have an unsupportive spouse. I don't feel worthy of success. I feel heavy mom guilt. I wish my marriage was better. I hate my job. I have no belief in myself. I'm constantly worried what others think of me. I compare myself to others constantly, and more. The amount of people who are standing up for so many of these is just so heartbreaking, but also such a relief because you realize you're not alone. The one that said, "I don't feel worthy of success," more than half the room stood up. When I look in the mirror, I don't like what I see. Probably 3/4 of the room stood up. And the one that hit me the hardest was, "I wish my marriage was better." So many people stood up for this one, and it absolutely broke my heart. Because I used to check that box off too, and I know what it feels like to think that way. A huge takeaway for me was realizing how passionate I am about healthy relationships. I felt a fire light up inside of me when I saw all those people standing up. It made me want to get up and tell them all that it's possible. But this entire activity made me realize we are all feeling the same way, or at least similarly. We are never alone on our personal development journey. Another takeaway from this activity was realizing that every single time I have done this, I check off less boxes. The first time I did it, I checked off almost all of them. Each time I check off less, and this was the first time I did not check off, "I don't feel worthy of success." I used to really struggle with feeling worthy, but I know my worth now, and it has made me really proud of my growth. After such an emotional experience during the card activity, I found myself thinking a lot about how we show up in the world. Not just in rooms like that, but online too. I know social media can feel overwhelming. There's so much pressure to look or act a certain way, to follow trends, to post the perfect version of yourself. And even though I try to be myself online, I'll be honest, sometimes I still overthink it. I hold back and I worry about what people might say or how I'll be perceived. But during the event, someone said something that really hit me. They said, "Think about the person who loves you the most. How do they see you? And that made me think of Paul. He doesn't love me because I'm polished or perfect. He loves my goofy side. He loves that I'm kind and that I care deeply about other people. And I know other people love that about me too. So why would I hide that? Why would I tone it down for the sake of strangers? Another quote that hit hard was this: "Don't take criticism from people you wouldn't take advice from." That one got me. It is so true. Why do we let the opinions of other people who aren't even brave enough to put themselves out there hold so much weight? If I wouldn't go to someone for life or business advice, why would I let their judgment stop me from being me? I've said this before on the podcast, but it landed differently this time. No one who is doing more than you will ever tear you down. It's the people playing small who often try to make you feel small too. And honestly, who cares what they think? This reminded me that showing up as your true self is what draws the right people to you. It's what builds connection. So I'm committing to posting more content where I post exactly what I want to post and I'm more myself. And I'd like to encourage you to do the same. Ask yourself, how do the people who love me most see me? And am I letting the world see that version of me too? If you're not sure, I want you to ask 5 people who you love what the best quality is that they see in you or what they love most about you. I think you will be surprised to hear their answers. One of the most powerful messages from this weekend was this: whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. That hit me hard. Because if you're not doing anything to change your circumstances, then whether it's conscious or not, you are choosing to stay where you are. You're choosing to stay stuck, to stay small, to stay unfulfilled. And that might sound harsh, but it's also incredibly empowering because it means you have the power to change it. Another quote that stood out to me was, "The outcome isn't guaranteed, but my effort is." You might not know how things will unfold, but you can control how much heart and energy you're putting in. Are you truly putting in the effort it takes to support your dreams? That leads into something else that really stuck with me. Asking yourself, what is your dream? Get super clear on it. What do you really want? Then ask yourself every single day, what have I done today to support that dream? And if the answer is nothing, is it really your dream? Or are you just wishing and waiting for it to happen without taking the steps to get there? Another quote that hit hard was this: "It's the work you're avoiding that will give you the results you want." I've said something similar on this podcast before, but this time it just hit deeper. It's easy to do the fun, simple tasks, the ones that feel safe. But the ones that scare you and stretch you, that's where the growth is. That's where the real transformation happens. You're never going to accomplish it if you don't take action. Again, whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. You're choosing to stay in the same place and not get any closer to your dream if you don't take action. One speaker also spoke about how good we feel when we have a day off work. We get to do whatever we want. We don't have to go to work. We can spend time with friends or family, go for a walk. We can do whatever we choose. This is obviously such a great feeling, and I can definitely relate to that. Then she said, what if it wasn't just 1 or 2 days of this? What if 7 days a week you could do whatever you wanted to do? That was so eye-opening to me. How incredible would it be if 7 days a week I could create my own schedule and do whatever I wanted to do? Especially lately with how busy I am, I really see the value in this. Having your own business or working towards your goals will get you closer to this reality. Now, obviously, having your own business, you can't just sit back and relax every day. It's a lot of work. But at least you'd have the choice on when you want to work, how you want to work, and where you want to work. And maybe one day you can build it up so you don't need to work as much and you can have even more freedom. A presenter also spoke about what life we want to give our kids. I, of course, don't have kids yet, but I often think about what kind of life I want them to have. I want to set them up for success and give them choices. I want to be around them as much as I can. I want them to dream bigger and know what's possible. I want them to be surrounded by a positive and uplifting community. I want to take my family on trips and also teach them the importance of hard work. This is extremely important to me. How my kids are raised is one of the most important values to me. So I want to go first and show them what's possible. Another thing I hear so often in this business is to prepare for impact. So many people have jobs where they would never be able to take time off if they needed to. If a family member passed away or an accident happened, or you needed to take time off for whatever reason, many people don't have that option. The speaker who talked about this said that when her relative passed away, she was able to not only be there for the funeral, but she was there when her relative first got sick, and she got to stay after as well to support her family. She said so many of her family members couldn't even come to the funeral because of work. And this happens so often. I remember when COVID first happened and everything was shut down. My dad was having surgery at the time to remove a tumor, and because there was literally no option to work, I was able to be there for a month during his surgery and recovery. There's no way I would have been able to take that much time off work if it hadn't been for the shutdown. And I often think about this. There's not going to be shutdowns when something like this happens. I need to prepare myself for impact and set myself up to be able to be there when I need to. Having my own business and building it can allow me to be there when I need to. And being there with my family during this time was so essential. If God forbid something were to happen to a family member or a friend, would you be able to be there with your current work circumstances? How many days off would your work actually give you? The last thing I wanted to touch on that I learned from this conference is that you should never wait for the perfect time. You are the most qualified right now. Stop waiting until you're fit enough, you're smart enough, you make a certain amount of money, or you're married. There is never going to be a perfect time. Life happens and you will always have stuff come up. If you keep using that excuse, you will never actually start because this excuse will just keep coming up. I'll admit, I've definitely made a lot of excuses, not only in business, but in life too. Once I'm less stressed, I'll start this hobby. Once I'm less tired, I'll work out again. Once I'm in better shape, I'll start running. First of all of those things that I'm avoiding are actually the answer to the problem in the first place. Pursuing hobbies would alleviate my stress. Working out would increase my energy. Running would get me in better shape. And growing my business will help me to be less stressed, more financially secure and free, and give me and my family more options. One speaker talked about treating your dreams or your business like 75 hard. If you've done 75 hard like I have, you know there is no room for excuses. You just do it, no matter what. That mindset of non-negotiable daily activity, that is what moves the needle. And even if you don't have a business, this applies to anything. Your fitness, your nutrition, your mindset, your relationships, whatever it is, commit to it daily. When I did 75 hard, I made no excuses. Things came up, of course, where I didn't want to do it, but I did it anyway because I had to. If I started to treat my business like this and make no excuse, I would grow so much. And I get it, daily effort isn't always glamorous. It's hard to stay motivated when results don't show up right away. We live in a world of instant gratification, likes, comments, quick wins. But the things that actually change your life take time. They take consistency. They take showing up on the days when you don't feel like it. Working my business one day isn't going to make me successful. It's the everyday action that will eventually build it. Working out once won't make me fit. Again, it's the everyday action. Instant gratification is only short-term satisfaction. It's the everyday things that will provide you with long-term success and satisfaction. But that is where the magic is. Every small step you take compounds over time. So don't wait for the perfect moment or for motivation to magically appear. Just start. You don't need to be the most qualified. You don't have to have it all figured out. You are ready now. I'd like to leave you with this. What is your absolute biggest dream? The one where you may not even think that it's possible right now, but the thing you've always wanted. Maybe it's to be a stay-at-home mom, to build a huge successful business, to allow your partner to quit their job, to travel the world, to become a successful author. No dream is too big. Really take time after this episode to think about this. Get your journal out and write out what your dream is and get specific. What would your day-to-day life look like if this were a reality? Go through the whole day from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. What foods would you be eating? Where would you live? Who would you be with? What activities would you be doing? Would you be out doing the things you love? Or would you stay at home and read books all day? Whatever it is, it's not wrong. Be very specific and write as much as you can. Now, when you're finished, read it over and visualize yourself doing these things and achieving these goals. How does it make you feel? How would you feel when you get to tell your partner they can quit the job they hate? How would you feel getting to pick up your kids every day from school and spend the evenings with them? How would it feel to have $1 million in your bank account? How would it feel to tell your family that you're taking them on a trip? Really feel it within your heart. And know this dream of yours is 100% possible. You will probably have excuses come up, and that inner voice will tell you there's no way it could be a reality, but that voice is wrong. You are capable of so much more than you know, and the life you want is out there for you. You just have to take the first step and go for it. Before we wrap up, I want to do a quick recap of the biggest takeaways that hit me the hardest. Number 1, surrounding yourself with people who lift you higher truly changes everything. Number 2, whatever you're not changing, you're choosing. You have the power. Number 3, being your authentic self is what draws the right people to you. Number 4, daily effort matters more than perfect timing or big moments. And number 5, you are ready right now, not someday. That is it for today's episode. I really hope it inspired you to dream a little bigger and go after your goals. If you have any questions about today's episode, I would love to chat with you. You can DM me on Instagram at growthroughit.pod. I also have a link where you can ask anonymous questions or suggest future topic ideas. The link is in the show notes. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would be so grateful if you would rate and review this podcast and share it with someone you think would benefit from it. Thank you guys so much for listening and supporting me. It means more than you know. Please remember that you are worthy, and I'll see you next time.